Hello there, and welcome to the Weekly Geek.
Hi.
Hi. We're the Geek Friends. I'm Mark.
I'm Steve.
And
I'm Megan.
We're here to geek you out. We got so much cool stuff for you today.
Yes, we do. As you can see, we're in the library, and I have our library Instagram pulled up. We are doing flash polls about books to movies. What's better? At this point, I think Hunger Games is actually winning for the movie part.
What?
Yeah, there's some new votes on there.
Okay.
And I am of the camp that the book is always better, except for like maybe 2 or 3 that I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely not the norm.
Nice.
So if you want to see what books are becoming movies, come on in.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. So, last time we talked about the magnetic poetry contest.
Yes.
And I know someone won.
We ended up having like 7 winners for first, second, and third place because there were so many ties.
Wait. Now let's see. Would everybody in the picture now raise your hand if you were a winner? Crickets. Crickets. Crickets.
I also did not win.
Steve, have you ever won?
I haven't won.
Me neither.
No.
Oh. I'm so sad for them.
All right, now
Not.
for our counseling session here. Hey. So, you have probably seen Poll EV with audience interaction and presentations. So
Yes.
there's a couple of great new tools out there that we're going to start going through one at a time. Lori Lisai, the talented new tech integrationist, rolled this one out at the high school faculty meeting last week. It's called sli.do, if you're cool, or sli.do, if you're a tech kind of guy like that. And what this does is it allows...
I think he said slide.do,
Yeah,
right?
sli.do.
That's because he's not a geek. Okay, he kind of is. But we love him.
Nerd.
Anyway, nerd geek. It's
different.
You know, when we do these on Friday afternoons, they take like 4 hours.
Okay, anyway.
Okay, so check out...
Slido is a really cool way to poll your audience, to have your audience ask questions. If you were in the faculty meeting, you've seen that. And you
while you're doing your presentation.
While you're doing your presentation. Yeah. And you can actually upvote the questions that you most want answered.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So the way we used it is we had a presentation, the audience was spitting out questions, and then as people upvoted those questions, the presenter at the question and answer time was able to just roll through the questions and answer them. So it's a great way to sort of crowdsource questions.
Mm-hmm.
It also anonymizes and also sort of turns it into a poll really nicely so that you've got a lot of different great tools there. And this is one of those things that people are starting to use a lot more out there in big presentations. So it's called sli.do.
There's also Mentimeter. Now, I haven't seen this.
So Mentimeter we haven't used a whole lot, so we're going to skip it for this week because we got another one that we just pulled up.
So, if you see on here, I've got a slideshow presentation on Google pulled up. Here's my presenter view. And I've opened it up for questions. You'll see that right here. And you can choose who gets to ask questions.
So this is Google Slides.
Google Slides.
Normal Google Slides. And we'll get this figured out soon. But if you have an outside LUHS account that you're using, you now have this Q&A option with Google Slides that's live. So it's kind of like Slido embedded.
Right.
Which is really, really cool.
Right. So as I'm going through my presentation, I'm clicking through my slides. A 7th grader, because that's who I give the presentation to, has a question. Instead of interrupting me in the middle of my presentation, there's our question.
And again, you can upvote, you can downvote, as you can see.
Yep.
And I just asked a question anonymously, which is very cool.
And what happens when I present? There is the question, if we want to ask it to the group or address it on, and I don't think we really need to answer that since he's right here. But
we'll do that during the Q&A time afterwards. You can join us. But look at that. It's right up there. Super easy. A couple of clicks of the button and fantastic. Like I said, don't get frustrated because we're still trying to figure out how to get it turned on for uhs18.org. But we'll have that figured out in the next couple of days. But keep in mind that if you've got a slide presentation that you're doing, that you can add these really quickly, easily. It's no prep. And instead of you putting the questions in that you want people to ask or having discussion kind of you know, a think, pair, share type thing, you're actually generating it as the conversation is going, which I really, really like. It's really powerful.
I always forget my questions after the presentation, so I really like this.
So,
Steve had something to say about getting ready for summer, right?
That's right.
Yeah, so we
it's
are...
not that far away.
Yeah, I think we're less than 30 days left of school, right? I think we're inside that 30-day mark.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
we're like 30 real days starting, what, next Monday or something like that. Yeah. It's not even school days.
Yeah, so definitely keeping that in mind, we want to make sure that before we vacate campus for the summer that we have good backups of our data because IT does a lot of systematic upgrades over the summer, and sometimes by the nature of upgrading computers, as anybody know that used the device, sometimes things get lost. So before you leave, definitely make a backup of your data. With your iPads, as we're talking about getting new iPads coming up this year, so definitely make sure that your cloud is enabled. You've backed up to your cloud, because when we secure the iPads from you before you go home, you're not going to get that iPad back most likely. So make sure you get good backups of that. Your computers, use your USB sticks. If you need a USB stick, if you're a staff member and you haven't gotten one from us this year, come down to the office. We have them for you. You can back up your data with those and take it home with you. So definitely look into that. Some changes coming with device sign-out procedures at the end of the year. So look forward to those emails coming down the pipeline about how staff members can take their devices home with them over the summer and travel with them on vacation and for PD reasons and stuff like that. So.
That's awesome. So
Great.
look for those, and yeah, it's kind of like an oil change in the car, backing stuff up. Just make sure you do it. So either set it up so it happens automatically or do it on a regular basis. It's a good time to do it at the end of the school year, and I would also suggest to do it before the last minute because
it's better to be prepared.
Yeah.
And then if something happens to your device, you don't want to lose all your data, so you should be backing up all along. If you need help with that, ask one of us.
Spoken like a true champion.
Geek.
You've been
You
geeked.
know it.
Geeked.